Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And we have a story here about Mairi McAllan. Someone who, obviously, she's the Saturday Girl of the SNP. She's the one that comes in, in between her lessons, still at high school, I think. Certainly looks young enough to have never actually left school yet. And yet, apparently, we're supposed to take her seriously and look at her vast life experience. Well, this little millennial has been sitting there and basically victim blaming Lisa Cameron, saying that she finds it hard to believe that Lisa Cameron's mental health problems exist and things. Well, I will say that Lisa Cameron has been around a little while. I'll be gallant and say I won't say her age, but she has been around a little while longer than Mairi McAllan. And as someone who is a clinical psychologist, she will understand her own mental conditions brought about by bullying and ostracisation and all the things, all the nastiness of the SNP. And so for Mairi McAllan to sit there and do this victim blaming and do this, I don't believe you've been, you've got these mental problems. Now, I wouldn't wish, I dislike bullying in all its forms, and I wouldn't wish for Mairi McAllan to be bullied. But I think that if she was, she wouldn't last as long as Lisa Cameron. She'd be in tears in minutes because she has no concept of what it's like. And so she's sitting there from a complete state of ignorance. And I mean ignorance in its real form, the unknowing ignorance. But also ignorance as in a complete lack of humanity. And it is so typical of the SNP that they have no humanity. They're all psychopaths. They have no compassion and no empathy with anyone else. So it's not surprising that she continues this line of bullying pushed so hard by the party. But we'll take a look at the story. Here goes. So tone deaf Mairi McAllan says she finds Lisa Cameron's mental health problems are hard to believe, because of course she has. She's never had the sort of aggressive bullying that Lisa Cameron had. She's never had that constant pressure to change her views to meet with what the party expects you to do, because little Saturday Girl has gone along and towed the line in every single way. And that's why she's found herself in the position she is, because she too is a little lickspittle, kiss ass, an obsequious little crawler who's never gone against her own beliefs because she doesn't have any. She just mouths the mantra and dogma of the party of hate. And so, of course, that's why she can't understand other people's problems, other people's mental problems. Lack of empathy. But Saturday Girl has no idea. But Saturday Girl will learn, because as Saturday Girl gets older and she starts to disagree with things and starts to grow up and become a fully formed human being, she'll understand that people do have views that sometimes go against the party. And when people shout back, she'll burst into tears and cry. Anyway, the SNP's Mairi McAllan has been accused of attempting to undermine accusations of bullying that led to Dr. Lisa Cameron defecting from the SNP to the Tory party. Of course she is. It's just part of that constant push. Oh, we've got to do it. Even though she's gone, we're still going to push her. We're still going to attack her. We're still going to bully her, even though she's gone. Because nobody can abandon the party, That's why they sent the thugs round to her house, and why Lisa Cameron had to leave her home, because the SNP thugs had gone around threatening her and her family. The SNP are no more than bloody jack-booted bother boys and brown shirts, The AS, before the SS were formed, they were the AS, and that's what you got in the SNP. I'll be standing the Gestapo round. That'll be the next thing, won't it? Anyway, in an unprecedented move, Dr. Cameron abandoned the Nationalist Party, and said the toxic culture had forced her to seek help for her mental health. But Miss McAllan said she found it hard to believe her claims, which goes to show also how little experience in life Mairi McAllan's got, because, this happens all the time. The SNP's Transport, Net Zero and Just Transition Secretary has been told her response is completely tone deaf and out of touch. Her comments follow SNP President Mike Russell, who branded Dr. Cameron's public condemnation of her Westminster colleagues as an odd tantrum. Yeah, let's play it down. She's not got mental problems. She's not been bullied. No, we all love her. We love her so much that she left the party. You stupid tart. Anyway, Miss McAllan told the BBC I know Lisa Cameron personally. Our constituencies overlap to some degree. And personally, I wish her no ill will. Well, that's a lie. You just have. You're wishing her ill will now by saying that you don't believe she's got mental issues caused by the bullying of the SNP, caused by the ostracisation of her because she dared to stand up to the victim of the pervert that is Patrick Grady. How dare you go against the party? How dare you protect victims and not stand by perpetrators? No matter how many children they touch, no matter how many young men they touch, no matter how many women they are, it doesn't matter who you are or what you do in the SNP, you stand by the perpetrator. She says, I find it hard to believe anything that somebody says when 1 minute they're on the video saying that the Tories have dragged Scotland out of the EU and we need independence, and in the next breath they're joining the Conservative and Unionist Party. Well, as she said, it was only the Tories that offered her anything other than abuse. Anyway, she said, I personally don't know any of the details of Dr. Cameron's mental health. So you're admitting you don't know any of the details, and yet you feel qualified to discuss them and talk about them. There's a word for that. Fuck wit. You daren't. You sit there and you say you don't know anything about it, but you're going to hold court and pontificate on this woman's mental condition. And this is after you lied on TV and said that there was a taxi driver who wanted to pay more money. There it is. Look, the taxi driver story. I wonder about her mental condition. She's obviously not sane. Anyway, she said, I'm not saying I don't believe Lisa. Yes, she finds it hard to believe. Therefore, you're saying you don't believe Lisa. Wow. The words that come out of these people's mouths. Black is white, white is black, good is bad, war is peace. 1984, isn't it? She's saying, I'm not saying I don't believe Lisa, but I don't. I'm saying I haven't given it a great deal of thought. Well, you've given it enough thought that you can come out and pontificate on it. Equally, I do find it a bit difficult to swallow what somebody says when they're so willing to have two very different public positions in such a short period of time. Have you looked at your leader? That man has had 4 different positions in 1 week. And I don't mean sexual. All you're on about is independence strategy. 4 in 1 week, and he fundamentally believed all 4 of them. Woman's a moron, isn't she? Well, she's in the SNP, goes without saying, doesn't it? But Scottish Conservative Chairman Craig Hoy was scathing in response to her interview on Sunday morning, which came on the first day of the SNP conference in Aberdeen, where there was over 700 people, allegedly. Didn't look like it in those pictures. But even then, still less than 1% of their membership. Bad, innit? Mairi McAllan is the latest SNP politician, he said, to respond in a completely tone-deaf manner to Lisa Cameron's defection, saying she finds it hard to believe is a crass response to the ordeal Lisa has gone through. It's clear that the SNP's Transport Secretary, like many of her colleagues, would prefer to smear her now former colleague than address her concerns head-on. Mairi McAllan must think the public are buttoned up the back when she claims that there's not a toxic culture in her Westminster group. Of course there is. It's a toxic party of hate, of division, of fear, of loathing. It's a party of psychopaths. It's a party of people who want to sexualise children. It's a party that stand by the child murderers of mass. Don't tell me it's not a toxic party. It's the party of Kerr. It's the party of Linden. And it's the party of Grady. And when they're not touching children, they're touching young men. And yet the SNP back them all up. That's toxic. They never once think or talk about the victims of their own touchy-feely, degenerate scum. MSPs, MPs, councillors, workers, the lot. They are a party of ponces, perverts and pedos. Predators, pricks. All of them. We all know what the P stand for, and there's many letters, there's many words that P can stand for, and they stand for all of them. The one thing they don't stand for, the one thing the SNP doesn't stand for, is decency. And that is fundamental. So well done. Saturday Girl there, Mairi McAllan, sitting there thinking that she's protecting the party, and all she's doing is protecting the pervs who would do to her and wouldn't even think twice about it. Ah, well, never mind. She'll learn one day, and then she'll burst into tears because being a millennial, she's never had anyone ever say no to her. Anyway, stop there, coming up. So there you go, so typical of the SNP, another one showing their true colours. No empathy, no sympathy, nothing, no humanity. Yeah, a woman who's obviously distressed, obviously been abused, obviously been bullied. Yeah, don't care, because she's not following the mantra of the party of hate and division. Never mind, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Let's all treat Mairi McAllan as she deserves now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and treat Mairi McAllan exactly how she treats others. She'll hate it. Bye.